County and Mayor Todd Strange, and I believe they have each a resolution and proclamation that they would like to read and perhaps say a few words. So, Mayor, would you like to go first?
I won't read the proclamation, but suffice it to say this is a proclamation that proclaims this September as the National Preparedness Month here in Montgomery. What is so important is all the people that stand behind here that play a vital role in doing this. This is a big deal, just like yesterday was a big deal. And I just got to tell you, I got to plead guilty. I've got every one of those items in my home, but they're not in one little spot. They're all over the house. So this is a wake-up call for me to be able to do something that would be very positive and to collect them in one area so that we can grab it as we hopefully don't have to leave our home. But the other thing is to tell you that we as a city have done a similar situation. We have a plan, we have a kit. Kits are in kiosks located around the city where we have pre-positioned, with the help of Joe Montgomery, who's in the back and his company, positioned supplies around this city. So in the event that we have disasters, that we've got blankets and we've got waters and we've got foodstuffs that are available in different locations other than just a central point. You say it never will happen. Well, it does. We've had tornadoes, we've had hurricanes, we've had floods. I will never forget, a number of years ago, some friends of ours from the Gulf Coast unexpectedly knocked on our door and said, "Can we come in?" All they had was their Bible and their silver because they had been run out because of a hurricane. Well, that prompted us then to call another friend that was down there on the coast and say, "This is your refuge if you ever need that." So those are the little things that this National Preparedness Month hopefully calls to mind and calls to our attention so that we can do something proactively to get prepared in the event that something happens, and God forbid that it would. Chairman Dean?
I also have a proclamation that I would not read, and I would veto what the mayor is saying. And I just want to say, when we have an emergency here, it's not an emergency for the City of Montgomery or the County of Montgomery. It's all of our emergencies. We have the Sheriff Department, the police, 911, the volunteers. These are what I call a strategic team. And I just want to applaud them as much as I can, and on behalf of the County Commission and all the citizens of Montgomery for the job that they do. When we talk about budget restraints, this is why we don't cut the budget when it comes to law enforcement and emergencies. That is a definite need at all times. So I'm here just to thank these guys and ladies for what they do, and say that Montgomery County will stand ready to help in any way that we can. Remember, it's not just the City of Montgomery if an emergency occurs, it's the county and all of Montgomery that suffers when this happens, so we always need to be prepared. Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Dean is right. It's really a team effort, and not only at the local level, but also we get if our local resources are overwhelmed, obviously we get state help also. They provide a great asset to local areas that are overwhelmed. And, just so you know, there really is a system in place. There's a saying in emergency management that all emergencies start and end at the local level. That means the people you see behind me are the very first ones to come up on the scene. If they're overwhelmed, we reach out to the state. The state sends more resources. If the event is so large that the state can't provide the resources that are needed, then we reach out to the federal government and receive help from FEMA and other federal agencies. So a lot of players go into keeping the public safe. I really appreciate you coming out. Really appreciate you getting this message out to the public, and we hope the public will take this to heart and really work to get themselves prepared. Does anybody have any questions, or would you like to?
I just have a couple of questions. Mayor, you mentioned a kiosk. Can you give a little more details about where they're located and what's in them?
Steve, you want to do that? Sorry? The kiosk, Joe Montgomery's kiosk. You might want to visit with Joe Montgomery back there as well. What was the question? Kiosk.
And Joe Montgomery is here that can speak about that afterwards. The Oasis project is a project that we partnered with a couple months ago, and what they have done is they have put kiosk-type ready ports throughout Montgomery, the City of Montgomery, Montgomery County, that are filled with emergency supplies. And these supplies are at the disposal of the city and the county. Whatever we need, we can go in and get and use for whatever reason we need. And to answer your question, there's one that's by Montgomery Mall. There's one that's on Atlanta Highway out across from Jim and Nick's. And then there's one going north Montgomery County, is that correct? Just on the other side, outside of the city limits, right before the bridge. So those are the ones that we have in Montgomery right now.
And Mr. Sotomayor, you mentioned that people should have certain food items. Can you tell us specifically what food items and non-food items you recommend people have in their emergency kit?
Yeah, basically, non-perishable items, obviously, things that don't need to be kept cool because in a large emergency you may not have electricity, so you want canned goods is what we recommend. It's amazing how things can be packaged now. You may notice over here on this display, there's a thing of tuna that's not in a can, but it's in like a pouch. So these are inexpensive items that you can pick up. Again, most people would already have these in their home. I think the important thing is that you gather them in one place so that you don't have to go around and try to round them up. But other items that obviously you'd want to have would be flashlight, keep batteries so that flashlights will work, check your batteries from time to time. You would also want to have probably water. Water is a big thing, and I should have mentioned that at the very outset. People never have enough water when we have an emergency, so you should always have at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. And you want to have enough supplies on hand, both water, food, and otherwise, for at least 3 days. So when you try to put your emergency kit together, think of what you and your family would need for a minimum of 3 days.
And our final question is, you also mentioned several websites. What if electricity's out? Are there any phone numbers? Would 311 be the number people will call for non-emergency information, or would there possibly be a special phone number in the event of an emergency?
Yeah, locally here within Montgomery, obviously if it's an emergency, we want to stress that people would call 911. They very possibly will be overwhelmed. So we want to try to get people for non-emergency. Yes, we would have our 311 number up and running. Actually, it's running now, as you know, but the focus would then become not day-to-day city services, but the focus would become on helping people during this crisis for however long it takes. All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, guys.